Welcome to Intergeo TV on the very last day of the Intergeo 2015 in Stuttgart. I have an interesting guest from the US, from an interesting media, and we will see what he has to tell us about the Intergeo 2015. Welcome, Eric Gakstatter. You have a quite impressive title, Contributing Editor for Geospatial Solutions and for GPS World. Tell me something about it.
Yes, sir. So GPS World has been around since 1989. It's the sort of the premier gold standard for publications in the GPS industry. But of course, it's transitioning. You know, it's not just about GPS anymore. It's about GNSS. And we've had some internal debates about we changed the title. I think for now we're going to keep the title, but certainly we've always got to focus on GNSS. And so we cover GPS and GNSS technology very deeply. Geospatial Solutions is focused towards the geospatial industry, and that's a major reason that I'm here, is to keep track and really follow trends of technology in geospatial industry. So they're very closely tied together, obviously.
You have been following the geospatial world of Intergeo during the last years.
Yes.
Now, after Berlin, which was quite impressive,
yes.
Stuttgart 2015. What is your impression about this trade fair, about the technologies that occur on the market?
Well, first of all, about Intergeo is it is the only independent geospatial gathering in the world. That's what I love about it, and that's why I come here every year. So that's the first point. The second point is trends. Boy, it's amazing to watch, of course, UAVs, how they've come along in the past few years. Just 3 or 4 years ago, there was only a handful of UAV vendors. Now you can barely walk through the trade exhibition without running into some sort of craft. And so that's been really amazing to watch. And then also the GNSS receiver industry has changed. You look at, again, 5 years ago, there were very few GNSS receiver vendors. Now you walk into the exhibition hall and they're down every aisle. So that it's amazing and interesting to watch those two technologies transform over the last few years. And you really don't see that, I don't think, anywhere except at Intergeo. A little bit at vendor-specific conferences, but I think that's the magic behind Intergeo, in my opinion.
The Intergeo community has become more and more international. Berlin showed it, Stuttgart. Is this important for you to see what's happening in Europe especially too?
Oh, of course, yes. This is the reason I come here, is to understand different perspectives, because you know, we're sort of in our own bubble in the United States and in North America. And it's very important to come here and see many different types of vendors and vendors that you don't see necessarily in the North American market. So it's very interesting and very important for me to be here every year.
Talking about the American bubbles, what are the challenges over there in the US? Industry
specific, or generally, of course.
The political. Let's don't do it. We have it in Europe. All different discussion. No, the geospatial situation and all the challenges in the market there for the industry.
To me, I feel that there is a sort of almost a lack of competition in the U.S. There's certain brands and certain vendors that sort of dominate that space over there. And what I love about Intergeo is it brings in vendors from all over the world, and you get much more diverse representation of technology. I think that's the biggest message I would send.
So if you leave Stuttgart tomorrow, I think, what will be the clue you bring to the U.S. readers?
So 2 takeaways that I see here. One, of course, is UAVs. And it's a fascinating subject to watch. In fact, I fly UAVs. I'm authorized by the FAA to fly them. I've got an early exemption to fly them. And so I'm very interested in this technology. And in fact, I'm going to a conference next month in the U.S. And the interesting statistic about that conference is that for every 1 vendor, there are 5 attendees. And that ratio is incredible to think about. It sort of illustrates the irrational exuberance almost around UAVs these days. Yes, UAVs are fantastic technology. They have their place, but it's so hyper right now. It reminds me of the late 90s with the internet boom, right? So that's one message. And the second one is GNSS receivers. High precision GNSS receiver technology is developing at such a pace that you're going to see a steep decline in pricing, and that will enable more and more people to have access to high precision data. I'm talking, you know, centimeter level GNSS type of data. So those are the 2 messages that I sort of feel at this conference.
So Eric, it was good to have you here. Have a safe trip home, and I hopefully will see us in Hamburg next year. Thanks a lot, and thanks you for watching. Bye-bye.